I've been wanting to make large question banks in Canvas so that I could make quizzes for my students that they could take again and again. And because the quizzes would draw randomly from these large question banks, the quizzes would be different every time my students took them. And they could take them as many times as they wanted, either for more practice or to improve their scores. The problem was that Canvas will only import QTI zip files if you're making question banks. And that's not a thing that you can sit down and write yourself. And to do it by hand, to create the question banks by hand, would take just an enormous amount of time and be very onerous. So, at least for 5 years now, Chuck Severance has had online a converter that would take GIFT formatted files and convert them into QTI zip files that Canvas would accept. But his converter would only handle multiple choice questions where there's one right answer. And I really needed a converter that could handle multiple answer questions. That is, questions where you have to choose all the correct answers, and there could be multiple correct answers. So the people at Research Computing um, took Chuck's code and expanded it so that it will handle multiple answer questions as well. And so I thought I'd show you how that works now. What you see here is a spreadsheet that I made that I can draw upon for making these question banks. So I thought I'd show you what I have. The first few columns are just for me. There's one that I can use to resort it into the original order. A column that tells me whether the verb in question is regular or irregular. A column that tells me what stage, what chapter in the Cambridge Latin course students first learn this verb form. A column where I can put a question title. There has to be a question title in the GIFT formatted file. The question itself, the verb form, and then a column, and then the real formatting starts. A line break, a opening curly bracket, and then all the various answers. And you can see that the ampersands indicate a right answer, the tildes indicate a wrong answer. I have some conditional formatting set up so that the right answer, the ampersands turn green and the tildes turn pink, and that helps me check my work here. And then, so person, first, second, or third, number, singular or plural, tense is present, imperfect, future, perfect, pluperfect, or future perfect. Voice is active or passive, and mood is indicative, subjunctive, and imperative. Then I have my closing curly brackets and the word line break again. So if I wanted to make a quiz from this sort of master spreadsheet, let's say I wanted to make a quiz that covered all the verb forms that they knew from stages 1 through 12. And this whole spreadsheet goes all the way through. It's a pretty big spreadsheet. It goes all the way through the end of the Cambridge Latin course. But let's say I just wanted the forms that are presented in stages chapters 1 through 12. So I'd select from here. Let's see. Usually I have most of the columns hidden. So this is a little easier, but I'm going to go down to, what is this? Row 91. Okay, so I'm going to select all this to here, and I'm going to copy it. Now I'm going to open my favorite text editor, and I'm going to paste what I copied in, and then I'm going to make some changes in the text editor so that it's properly GIFT formatted. I'm going to start with replacing all the tabs with nothing. We'll replace them all. Good. I'm going to replace the word line break with an actual line break. And I'm going to replace all those ampersands that indicated a correct answer with an equal sign, which is what gift formatting wants. There are ampersands in the spreadsheet because equal signs don't really work in the spreadsheet. So there we go. And I think we are formatted. This is a properly formatted text file. I'm going to get rid of that last line from that last line break. Good. All right. So there we go. I'm going to select it all. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it into the converter. So let's find that. Here it is. It looks like Chuck's converter that's been around for 5 years, but now it actually handles multiple answer questions. So we'll paste in what I had. We'll give the quiz a title. I don't know, we'll call it Stage 12 Verb Parsing. And we'll give the file a name. And Stage 12 Verb Parsing. Good. And then we'll hit Convert. And let's see if it works. It does work. We'll download the zip file. Good. And now we'll go to Canvas and we'll import the zip file. Whoops, I have to open that. All right, here's my course, and we'll just put it into a live course. Down at the bottom of my course, I have a fake quiz that I can use to get easily to the question banks in the new quizzes. So here's my fake quiz. I'm going to go to Manage Item Banks, and I'm going to add a bank. And we're going to call it Stage 12 Verb Parsing. So we've made an empty bank. There it is. And now we're going to import content. And we're going to import that zip file that we just downloaded. And we'll hit import. And it usually takes a minute. If you have a very big question bank, and I've imported some that have 500 questions, it can take a little while. And eventually you'll get a notice that it's imported successfully. And here it is. And you can see, right, it has the 40 odd questions we imported. If you take a look at the question, you can see it's a multiple answer question. Porta is third person singular, present, active, indicative. And if you want to make a quiz with it, we'll go back to our fake quiz and you could add a question. So we'll go to the banks. Here's our new question bank. We'll open it up and we'll click all/random. Good. And then we'll go back to our quiz and it's imported all the questions. So there's 90 questions, more than I thought. But we don't want to ask them all 90. So we'll randomly select, let's say, 5 questions. Click done. And then if we wanted to add another question, we could go back to our item banks and let's just pick something else. Here's a multiple choice one that I converted. And you could say all are random again. And there it is. And again, you can just randomly select some questions, maybe just one. Okay, and then we're done. And if we wanted to preview what it looks like from the student side, so it'll have these multiple answer questions. So what person number 10's voice and mood is Doke Bombas? Well, it's first person, plural, imperfect, active, indicative, right? What person number 10's voice and mood is Dokeba? It's third person, singular, imperfect, active. And let's get something wrong. Let's say it's subjunctive. Okay. And so we asked for 5 of those, and then here's our multiple choice. Fuerunt means they have been. Okay, good. And we'll submit. It'll auto grade. And I have this quiz set up so that it tells students if that's all right. But here's the one where we chose something wrong, right? We said it was subjunctive. In fact, we missed out that it was indicative. You can set it to reveal their answers to them or not. And then here's our multiple choice question, which we got right. And that's it. You can build up these item banks. You can share them with other people and use them across courses. So having this converter that now handles multiple answer questions has made a huge difference, especially now that we're not meeting in person. I'm setting up these practice quizzes instead of the paper quizzes I would have given in an in-person class. But even when we're back in an in-person situation, I'm going to keep using these as a great way for students to practice in addition to the paper quizzes that I'll be giving them.